Hello, friends, and welcome to the Mylio Photos Coffee Break. My name is Angela, and today we're going to be talking about Mylio Drive and Mylio Drive Plus. We're going to go through all of the differences, what you need to know to make the best decision for your library, and what to enable and when. Before we get started, I do want to let you know about what we have coming up for you next week. Coffee break next week will be titled Cap, Gown, and Camera Roll. This is going to be for all of the photos that you have of graduations. Could be this year, could be previous years. And I'm going to show you how to make an album and share that with friends and family who couldn't be there. So it's a great way to get those pictures off your camera roll and out there to your friends and loved ones who want to be able to support your family members from afar. So that's going to be next week's coffee break. We're also going to have some live Q&A sessions for you. I host 2 sessions a week every Tuesday and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific. And you're welcome to drop into those with any questions related to photography, organization, anything. I do my best to answer just about whatever you throw at me. On Wednesdays, we also have sessions with Lori Rubin. She's also here in the chat today, and she is our onboarding specialist, head of the onboarding program. So if you're new to Mylio, you've probably talked to her, and she does her own Q&A session for new users every Wednesday. So if you're just getting started, that's a great one to check out, and I encourage you to do so. So what I guess we're ready now. You can always find all of those. Go to the QR code on the screen, scan that with your phone, or go to community.mylio.com/events. And let's go ahead and get started with today's topic, which is Mylio Drive versus Mylio Drive Plus. What's the difference? And this is especially helpful for people who are newer to Mylio Photos, or maybe you haven't had a chance to really dig in and figure out what these things are, because Mylio has a ton of stuff that is useful, but you don't have to use everything that it offers. But the reason I wanted to do this session is Mylio Drive especially is included with your Mylio Photos Plus subscription. And if you don't have it enabled, I do for most people recommend it. We're going to go through why. And then we're also going to talk about Mylio Drive Plus, which is an add-on that you can purchase if it's a good fit for your workflow. And we'll go through some scenarios where it may or may not work for you. So we're going to learn what each one does, what it costs, and how to choose. So why Mylio Drive exists? Mylio by design is cloud independent, meaning you don't have to use the cloud to use Mylio Photos. And that's one of the key things that makes Mylio different from a lot of the other image management applications out there. Most things like Apple Photos, Google Photos, or even, if you're using like Lightroom Cloud, they want you to put everything in their cloud service, and that's how you manage it. So you're forced to upload everything into the cloud. There's privacy concerns, there's bandwidth concerns. All of those types of things exist when you're only using the cloud. And what we decided to do was do something a little bit differently, and it's focused on local first storage, meaning cloud is an option, but you don't have to put everything in the cloud if you don't want to. So the way that Mylio works by design is a peer-to-peer sync. So your devices talk directly to each other, not over the cloud. So it goes up to the internet, it authenticates, makes a handshake between your devices, and then your devices talk directly to each other. So that's how it works. It goes over the internet and your devices go directly to each other. Mylio never sees your stuff. The trade-off to that is that you have to have another device on in order for Mylio to sync. So if you're out and about and you're on your phone and you try to pull up a picture or a higher quality of the thumbnail that's there, you need to have another device on somewhere that Mylio can access in order to pull a higher resolution image to give you a good viewing experience, to have something that you can share and so forth. So if you don't always keep your computer on at home, things like that, there is a trade-off. So if you want to have everything local first, you have to leave devices on and running for them to talk to each other. That's why we developed Mylio Drive, because it fills that gap. Not everybody wants to leave their computer on all the time. So what this does is Mylio Drive puts your library, optimized versions of your library, so they are smaller, not full resolution, and your catalogs, so your metadata, things like that, it puts that in the cloud. So you can access it from any of your devices that are signed in. And it is fully encrypted and private. The one thing to emphasize here is that using Mylio Drive is completely optional. For those of you who are cloud averse or have privacy concerns, or maybe you're working with a business that you can't put things in the cloud, that's totally fine. This is absolutely optional. You don't have to use it, but it does fill a really important gap for those who want to make use of it. So what is Mylio Drive? First off, this is something that is included with your Mylio Photos Plus subscription. If you are already a paying subscriber or on a free trial, you have access to Mylio Drive. And it puts optimized images with all of your metadata and full raw editing support
What?
into the cloud. Oh, like we got some.
Yeah.
Go ahead and there we go. So it puts all of your optimized images, just images, not documents, not videos, optimized versions of images, which are about 5% the size of the original. It is fully encrypted and private. Only your signed in devices can access it. This means nobody at Mylio can see it. It's not something that you're meant to go to the cloud and be able to just browse. You have to be signed in on a device with your Mylio account and viewing it through Mylio Photos. And one other thing to emphasize here is this is not a backup. It's optimized photos only, not your full resolution images, and it's only photos, so no videos, no documents. This is meant to facilitate easy sync and easy browsing and fast setup of new devices. It is not a backup. I can't say that enough. Mylio Drive is not a backup. All right. So why Mylio Drive exists? It's, oops, I went the wrong way. Go that way. Let's look at the benefits of Mylio Drive. So one of the great things about this is it gives you anytime access to those optimized versions of your photos. If you're out and about and you're sitting with your iPad at a coffee house, or you got your phone and you're sitting over at the DMV and you're just scrolling, what happens is your phone with Mylio is going to try to reach out to another device to get a higher version of that image so you can browse and it browses quickly. If you don't have that computer on at home, there's nowhere for it to pull a higher quality file from. So you're going to be looking at a slightly downgraded, basically trying to blow up a thumbnail image. It's not going to look very good. So what Mylio Drive does is it gives you that cloud access. So if you have the internet turned on your phone, it just pulls down a higher resolution file and gives you a great experience while you're browsing. You don't have to have another computer on or another device on for it to sync with. It also makes setting up new devices much, much faster. When you get a new phone, if you get a new computer, if you get a new tablet, these things all happen from time to time. And setting up a new device with Mylio can take a little while, much like setting up any new software on that new device. Having Mylio Drive will make that go a lot faster. It also helps sync things faster while you're on the go. So if you're making small edits like changing some dates, adding some keywords, doing a little bit of light photo management while you're out and about, those things sync to Mylio Drive. And then as soon as you turn on your computer at home, those things can sync back to your vaults. So it's much better for the whole system to go ahead and enable Mylio Drive. Again, it's private and secure. We at Mylio can't see your stuff. And again, if you don't want to use the cloud, you don't have to. This is optional. We do not require this of you. You can still work local only if you want to. So to enable Mylio Drive, if you haven't done so already, what you're going to do is go into the dashboard and into devices. And up at the top where you add new devices, there will be a button to enable Mylio Drive. Now, if I go ahead and pop over here to my Mylio and go to my dashboard and into devices, you'll notice it's not there because I already have it enabled. So once you have it enabled, that button will be gone and you'll see it down here under drives and clouds with all of your other devices. Mylio sees it as a separate device. So again, up here at the top, you'll just click on Enable Mylio Drive. And if you are not a Mylio Photos Plus subscriber, you'll be prompted to go ahead and upgrade to Mylio Photos Plus. So if you're on the free version and you try to enable Mylio Drive, it will try to upsell you. And then once that's all done, syncing begins automatically. You don't have to do anything else. It's very, very simple, very, very seamless. So moving on to Mylio Drive Plus. This is a paid add-on for Mylio Photos. What it does is it adds on storage for your original quality files, which also includes your videos and your documents. So your cloud sync is a complete item. You're not just limited to just optimized photos. You can put as much of your stuff up there as you want. So photos, videos, documents, full resolution. It has the optimized ones too, but you're not limited to just optimized. Also encrypted and private. Only your signed-in devices can see it. And what I really love about this is you're not forced to put everything in the cloud. Now you can choose to make Mylio Drive Plus a vault which backs up everything in your library. It's a very solid choice. That's how I have mine set up. But if you have budget limitations, or maybe you only want to put some things in the cloud and you don't want to have everything in the cloud, you can do that. You can tell Mylio, I just want to put my best stuff, or I just want to put my family videos there, or I just want to put my stuff for work on the cloud. You have a ton of flexibility. So use it for your full library or just a subset. It is completely up to you. So some of the benefits of Mylio Drive Plus is you get that full resolution access anywhere. Again, you don't have to leave a computer on connected to a vault to be able to remotely access those full resolution files. What that means in practice is on my phone or on my tablet, I can be sitting across town with an internet connection with Mylio Drive Plus. I can click download original on any of the images or files in my library, and then I have that full resolution file. And for me as a photographer, I love to edit my pictures. So I can then take one of those pictures into Photoshop on my iPad or into Snapseed on my iPhone and do all sorts of image edits on the original full resolution file. Conversely, if you are using just Mylio Drive without the paid add-on, you only have the optimized image, you'll be working with that file that's smaller, about 5% the size of the original. Still very good quality, good for viewing. You can edit them, but it's not the full resolution file. So Mylio Drive Plus, very, very helpful for that. It's also a great option to add on for offsite copy disaster protection because hard drives fail, there's accidents at home. None of us want this ever to happen, but people have home fires, people have floods, people have things happen to their homes, and their location that has all of their drives, their computers, can be destroyed very, very quickly. This is what offsite disaster protection is for. It gives you a place to put all of your files that's somewhere geographically separate from where you primarily work. So Mylio Drive Plus, if you set Mylio Drive Plus up as a vault, you can have that offsite copy protection of everything in your library, or again, just the most important things in your library. So very, very important for that. You choose what gets uploaded, again, full library or selective sync, private and secure, and again, to mention, 100% optional. You do not have to use Mylio Drive Plus in order to be a Mylio user. This is for certain scenarios that fit certain workflows. So one of the best practices that I want to share for using Mylio Drive Plus, is that Mylio is local first by design. Cloud is a supplement, not the foundation. Anybody who uses any kind of cloud with Mylio, I super, super highly recommend keeping at least one local vault because restoring, if you have to restore for some reason, doing it through a cloud only vault is slow and tedious. Now, you'll be really glad you have it if you have that disaster, but if it's just a matter of your hard drive crashed, having to restore everything from the cloud can take extra time and frustration. And if you had another hard drive sitting on your desk to restore from, much, much faster. So I do recommend every user should have at least one local vault. Two is better. My ideal scenario, again, you follow that 3-2-1 backup rule, is to have at least 3 copies of your data on at least 2 different types of media with one of them offsite. Mylio Drive Plus can be that great offsite backup, but for most people, that is not a good solution to be your only place you store originals. So Mylio Drive Plus is the offsite layer, not the only layer. All right. So one of the questions that we get is, okay, I want to use the cloud. I want to have that offsite copy, but why should I choose Mylio Drive Plus over Amazon AWS or Microsoft OneDrive or Google Drive or something else? Why should I use Mylio Drive Plus instead of bringing my own cloud? Well, the number one reason is the setup. Setting up Mylio Drive Plus with Mylio, super, super duper easy. It doesn't have a complicated third-party configuration. If you're using Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive with Mylio, those are pretty simple. But if you're using an S3 cloud storage like Amazon AWS, Backblaze B2, Wasabi, or any of the other S3 capable storage, the setup and configuration is pretty complicated. So it's just a matter of how much time and effort do you want to spend and how technical are you. Additionally, You have the option with third-party cloud services with Mylio to encrypt what you store on those particular services. With Mylio Drive Plus, it is on by default. Everything that you send to Mylio Drive Plus is encrypted and private. No one can see your media except for you. We have that precision sync. So with Mylio Drive Plus, you decide what you want to upload. And if something goes wrong, if you're using Mylio Drive Plus, we can troubleshoot that from end to end because it's our service. If you're using a third party service, there's only so much support that we can provide. We will do our best to help you, of course. But if the issue is on the cloud storage side and it's not our service, we can't help with that. So those are some of the reasons you might want to consider Mylio Drive Plus over a different cloud storage. But if you already have another cloud storage set up and you are happy with it, there's no good reason to switch. There might be in the future, but today I wouldn't worry about it. So how to enable Mylio Drive Plus? Very similar to setting up Mylio Drive. What you're going to do is go to the dashboard and you're either going to add it as a vault. So if you want to put everything in the cloud, you're going to add it as a vault. And if you just want to add some things to it, you can just add it as a device. And then go here to Mylio Drive Plus, choose your plan, and then return to Mylio and confirm your setup. Now, plans for Mylio Drive Plus, we try to price them very competitively. They're a little bit more expensive than some and a lot less expensive than others. So they're kind of, we try to be competitive. We're not trying to make a ton of money off of this, but we do want to give you really good, solid storage. And for both Mylio Drive and Mylio Drive Plus, our backend for this is Backblaze, which is one of the most highest rated cloud storage providers out there. So it's really, really high quality cloud storage. So 2 terabytes is $11.98 a month, and 5 terabytes is $29.95 a month. If you exceed 5 terabytes, if your library is, let's say, 7 terabytes, then you're going to pay for 10 terabytes a month. If your library is 12 terabytes and you want to put everything in the cloud, you'll pay for 15. So it goes up in 5 terabyte increments, but you can start out with the 2 to begin. And again, if you're budget conscious, start with that 2 and put only your most important things up there. That is a very, very valid option. So again, just to show you where to find that, I'm going to go here into my dashboard and devices, and I'm going to just click on add device. And that should go ahead and pop up that window where you can go ahead and choose which device you want to add. Mylio Drive Plus will be an option, and you can go ahead and get that set up. So once things are set up and you have that added, Mylio Drive Plus is going, or Mylio Drive, both of them, are going to show up in that devices list down towards the bottom under your drives and clouds. So you're going to see a nice big blue check mark like you see right here in the screenshot if everything's in sync. So you go into dashboard devices, and like any other connected device, you can verify where things are at. If media is pending, it will show that here, and you can click on the bottom portion of the card to get more information to see what files still need to sync. It'll show you which devices have those files. And then you can go, oh, the files that it needs are on my phone. I need to turn Mylio on my phone. That'll be a great way to troubleshoot that. And that's how you verify that Mylio Drive Plus or Mylio Drive are doing what they're supposed to do. So just to kind of recap and give you an overview of what each one of these is for, Mylio Drive is for syncing. Gives you a great browsing experience, helps you set up devices faster. Mylio Drive Plus is for protecting. It also gives you really great access to those full resolution files. So both of them will store your optimized images. Both of them have full encryption. When it comes to original size photos, you have to have a subscription to Mylio Drive Plus with secure cloud storage in order to access that. That is not included with Mylio Drive. Same goes with videos and documents. You do not get that with Mylio Drive, but you do get that option with Mylio Drive Plus. For disaster recovery, please, please, please do not consider Mylio Drive a backup. You're not going to be able to restore from Mylio Drive if your system at home crashes. If that's your only cloud and that's all you have, keep in mind those are optimized images that are only 5% the size of your originals. So being able to recover from that is not something that you should count on. For Mylio Drive Plus, though, especially if you have it as a vault or a place where you've designated to store your most important things, that can be a good disaster recovery for you. The cost here, Mylio Drive is included with Mylio Photos Plus, So if you're already a subscriber, this is part of what you're already paying for. And for most people, I highly recommend enabling it. If you need that offsite storage and protection disaster recovery, go ahead and add on Mylio Photos Plus. Again, $11.98 a month for 2 terabytes or $29.95 a month for 5 terabytes. Mylio Drive is best for better browsing, faster device setup, and Mylio Drive Plus is for the offsite access of your photos, videos, and documents and disaster protection at full resolution. So that's great. So here's some scenarios for those of you who are trying to decide what's right for you. If your scenario is that you don't want your stuff in the cloud, you like to keep it all local, totally fine. Don't enable Mylio Drive or Mylio Drive Plus. Again, totally optional. You don't have to use these. If you just don't like the cloud, if you have sensitive information that you don't want to put on the cloud or you're in some way restricted from putting in the cloud, don't enable Mylio Drive or Mylio Drive Plus. If you are someone who always has your computer on with Mylio running and connected to a vault, I would say Mylio Drive is optional. I think it's going to give you a better browsing experience away from home and faster new device setup, but it's totally optional. It's up to you if you want to enable it. If you don't like to leave your computer on all the time, I suggest, as long as you don't have any particular restriction from doing so, definitely enable Mylio Drive because this is going to allow you to easily browse your entire library from other devices when you're away from your main computer. If you already have another cloud service that you use with Mylio, you're using Microsoft OneDrive, you're using Google Drive, or another S3 cloud service, I would go ahead and enable Mylio Drive. It's optional. Again, it's going to help with that browsing experience. But Mylio Drive Plus, at that point, I would say is redundant. If you're already paying for a different cloud service that you're using directly with Mylio, also paying for Mylio Drive Plus is probably not necessary. I would say that's overkill. If you have a local vault or 2 local vaults, but nothing off-site, I would certainly turn on Mylio Drive for that browsing experience. And I would strongly consider getting Mylio Drive Plus or at least instituting another offsite backup solution. Again, my whole goal with this is to make sure you don't lose anything that's precious and that you have access to what you need when you need it. And if you're somebody who actually needs to have access to your full resolution files anywhere, maybe you need it for work or you're doing specific projects where you need to be able to access those full resolution files and you don't want to carry drives around with you, this is a great opportunity to go ahead and add Mylio Drive Plus. It's going to make your life a lot easier and it gives you that disaster protection as well. Remind you that we've got some great stuff coming up for you next week. So the campground and camera roll, that will be next Friday. So a week from today, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. I don't remember exactly what the date of that is off the top of my head, but I will try to remember to put that into the slide for future. We'll also have live Q&A with me on Tuesday, Thursday next week, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. And Lori will be doing Q&A session for new users on Wednesday, 11:30. You can find all of these events, sign up and get registered at community.mylio.com/events. Scan the QR code on the screen. That'll take you right to that page. And let's see if there's nothing else. Let's see. Another comment here. I'll be traveling this summer. And it just jumped. Let me go see what that said. And shot a lot of pics. Want to make sure they get saved every day. Absolutely. We've got another coffee break coming up towards the end of next month on summer travel as well. We'll talk a bit more about making sure your stuff gets backed up while you're on the road and how to get ready before you go. So that'll be a fun session for you as well. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you, Lori, for helping out in the chat and sharing all the great resources. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in the community, send me a message or comment on any one of my posts. I will get back to you. Otherwise, I will see you guys on Tuesday and be ready to answer whatever questions you guys think of by then. So have a great weekend and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.